Where does joy fit into the justice conversation? So two things that you have to understand about joy to understand where it fits in are that joy and circumstances aren't causally connected. So that's why you have in the book of James saying, consider your trials pure joy. So it's not pleasure in the sense that pleasure is dependent upon my feelings of pleasure. Joy is actually a mental state that I can have even in the midst of suffering. You know, that sense in which you go, you know what, it's okay. You know, and the birds are singing, the sun is out, I have some people that love me. Yes, all these things are happening to me, but I'm choosing to celebrate the good things, you know, or the other things. So joy and circumstances are disconnected. They're not causally connected. And then Jesus gives us this sense that in John 15, remain in my love like I've remained in my Father's love, and you do this by obeying my commands. And I tell you this so that my joy may be in you and your joy may be complete. Now, my command is this, that you love others as I've loved you. So Jesus is basically saying relationship with God, which comes through obedient loving, is really the source of joy. So in other words, another way of saying it would be proper function. So you were created to be in relationship with God. You were created to be a relational being. You were created for love. We were all created for relationship and for love. And we're warped, bent beings, and we don't find that relationship with God, and we oftentimes disobey and choose unlove, right? And so Jesus is saying when you function properly, when you're back into that pattern the way it ought to be, where you're connected with God and you're loving people the way you ought to love people, then my joy will be in you and your joy will be complete. So again, causally disconnected from our feelings or our circumstances, but this time it is causally connected to something, which is our connection to God, and that right relationship is going to fuel our joy. So that's where you get Lamentations chapter 3, which is, I'm waiting for you, God. There's really nowhere else for me to go, yet you are my portion in the land of the living. So it says that there. It also says it, I think, in Psalm 139. But this fascinating thing that you are my portion in the land of the living. So it's not God loves you and has a wonderful plan for your life. It's that God loves you, which is a wonderful reality to undergird your life. And that's a better way of saying it, right? So I can always have God. God has always promised he'll go with me, even in the dark days and in the deep valleys. And that relationship with God, if all I have is that, then I have all I need for joy. And so we begin to realize that prayer is often diving back to that reality and anchoring ourselves there so that we can walk out to face the day no matter what the day throws at us. Great question. Important distinction to make. So thank you. Yeah.